by those who extract, by those who pull out, by those who tear out, by those angels who extract, by those angels who pull out, by those angels who tear out, by those angels who pull out the souls of the disbelievers and the wicked.
غرقا
With violence, violently. 1. By the angels who tear out the souls of the wicked with violence. 1. By those who extract the souls of the wicked violently. 1. By those angels who pull out the souls of the disbelievers and the wicked with great violence. 1. By those angels who extract with violence.
والناشطات
By those who take out. By those angels who take out. By those who draw out the souls of the blessed and believers.
نشطا
Gently. With ease.
with ease.
2. By those who gently draw out the souls of the blessed. 2. And those who draw out the souls of the blessed gently. 2. By those who gently take out. By those who gently take out the souls of the believers. 2. And those who remove with ease. And by those who remove with ease.
والسابحات
And by those who glide. By those who swim.
سبحا
Swimming. Swiftly. 3. And by those who glide along on errands of mercy. 3. And those who glide as if swimming. 3. And by those that swim along, that is, angels or planets in their orbits, etc. 3. And by those who glide as if swimming.
فالسابقات
And by those angels who press forward. And those who race each other.
سبقا
A race. In a race. As in a race. In a race. 4. Then press forward, as in a race. 4. And those who race each other in a race. 4. And by those that press forward, as in a race, that is, the angels or stars, or the horses, etc.
فالمدبرات
Then arrange to do. And those who arrange. And by those angels who arrange to execute.
أمرا
The commands of their Lord.
فالمدبرات أمرا
5. Then arrange to do the commands of their Lord. 5. And those who arrange the matter. 5. And by those angels who arrange to do the commands of their Lord. So verily, you disbelievers will be called to account. 5. And those who arrange each matter.
يوم
Day. The day. On the day.
ترجف
Shakes. Will quake.
الراجفة
The trembling. The first blowing of trumpet. The One day everything that can be in commotion will be in violent commotion. 6. On the day will quake the earth with a terrible quake. 6. On the day when the first blowing of the trumpet is blown, the earth and the mountains will shake violently, and everybody will die. 6. Hence, think of the day when a violent convulsion will convulse the world. 6. On the day the blast of the horn will convulse creation.
تتبعها
Followed by. Follows it.
الرادفة
Oft repeated commotions. That which is subsequent, the second blowing of the trumpet. The subsequent.
تتبعها الرادفة
7. Followed by oft repeated commotions. 7. And the subsequent one follows it. 7. The second blowing of the trumpet follows it, and everybody will be raised up. 7. There will follow it the subsequent one.
قلوب
Hearts.
يومئذ
That day.
واجفة
Will palpitate. The quaking one. That which is subsequent, the second blowing of the trumpet. Eight. Hearts that day will be in agitation. 8. Hearts that day will palpitate. 8. Some hearts that day will shake with fear and anxiety. 8. On that day will men's hearts be throbbing. 8. Hearts that day will tremble. 8. Hearts will be throbbing. 8. Hearts that day will palpitate.
أبصارها
Their eyes,
خاشعة
humbled. Cast down will be downcast.
أبصارها خاشعة
9. Cast down will be their owner's eyes. 9. Their eyes humbled. 9. Their eyes cast down. 9. And their eyes downcast. 9. While eyes will be downcast. 9. Their eyes downcast.
يقولون
They say,
أئنا
shall we indeed? Will we
لمردودون
be returned? Indeed be returned
في
in to
الحافرة
our former state, the former state of life, the former state. They say, now, what? Shall we indeed be returned to our former state?
They say, now what? Shall we indeed be returned to our former state?
They say, will we indeed be returned to the former state of life? They say, shall we indeed be returned to our former state of life? And yet some say, what? Are we indeed to be restored to our former state? They are presently saying, will we indeed be returned to our former state of life? They say, what? Shall we be brought back to life? They say, shall we indeed be restored to our first state?
أإذا
What, when, even after,
كنا
we shall have become, we are,
عظاما
bones,
نخرة
rotten, crumbled, decayed. 11. What? When we shall have become rotten bones. 11. What? When we are decayed bones. 11. Even after we are crumbled bones. 11. Even though we may have become a heap of crumbling bones. 11. Even if we should be decayed bones. 11. Even after we have turned into decayed bones. 11. What? After we are rotten bones.
قالوا
They say,
تلك
it, that, this.
إذا
In that case, then,
كرة
would be a return
خاسرة
with loss, losing. 12. They say, it would, in that case, be a return with loss. 12. They say, then that would be a losing return. 12. They say, it would in that case, be a return with loss. 12. And they add, that, then, would be a return with loss. 12. They say, that, then, would be a losing return. 12. And they say, that indeed would be a losing return. 12. They say, that would then be a return with loss.
فإنما
But only, then only,
هي
it will be.
زجرة
Noise, cry, shout, will be, a shout.
واحدة
Single, a single. 13. But verily, it will be but a single, compelling, cry. 13. Then it will only be a single shout. 13. But only, it will be a single zajra, shout, that is, the second blowing of the trumpet. 13. But, then, that last hour, will be upon them of a sudden, as if it were, but a single accusing cry. 13. Indeed, it will be but one shout. 13. But all it will take is a single blast. 13. It is only a single cry.
فإذا
When, behold, and behold,
هم
they
بالساهرة
will be awakened, alive after death. 14. When, behold, they will be in the full awakening to judgment. 14. And behold, they will be awakened. 14. When, behold, they find themselves over the earth alive after their death. 14. And then, lo, they will be fully awakened to the truth. 14. And suddenly they will be alert upon the earth's surface. 14. And behold, they will all come out in the open. 14. When lo, they will be awakened.
هل
Has there
أتاك
reached thee, come to you, there, come to you,
حديث
story, the story
موسى
of Moses. 15. Has the story of Moses reached thee? 15. Has there come to you the story of Musa? 15. Has there come to you the story of Moses? 15. Has the story of Moses ever come within thy ken? 15. Has there reached you the story of Moses? 15. Have you heard the story of Moses? 15. Has not there come to thee the story of Moses?
إذ
When,
ناداه
Did call to him, called him,
ربه
his Lord,
بالوادي
in the valley,
المقدس
sacred, the sacred,
طوى طوى
of
طوى
Behold, thy Lord did call to him in the sacred valley of Tawan.
طوى
16. Behold, thy Lord did call to him in the sacred valley of Tawan. 16. Lo, his sustainer called out to him in the twice-hallowed valley. 16. When his Lord called to him in the sacred valley of Tawan. 16. When his Lord called him in the holy valley, Tawan.
اذهب
You go.
إلى
2.
فرعون
Pharaoh,
إنه
verily he, indeed he,
طغى
transgressed, has transgressed all bounds. 17. Go thou to Pharaoh, for he has indeed transgressed all bounds. 17. Go to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed. 17. Go to Pharaoh. Pharaoh, verily, he has transgressed all bounds, in crimes, sins, polytheism, disbelief, etc. 17. Go unto Pharaoh, for, verily, he has transgressed all bounds of what is right. 17. Go to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed. 17. Saying go to Pharaoh, he has exceeded all bounds. 17. Go to Pharaoh, surely he has rebelled.
فقل
And say,
هل
wouldst, is it,
لك
for you,
إلى
to,
أن
that,
إلى أن
until,
تزكى
thou shouldst be purified, you purify yourself. 18. And say to him, wouldst thou that thou shouldst be purified from sin? 18. And say, would you purify yourself from sin? 18. And say to him, would you purify yourself from the sin of disbelief by becoming a believer? 18. And say unto him, art thou desirous of attaining to purity? 18. 18. And say to him, would you be willing to purify yourself? 18. And say, will you reform yourself? 18. And say, wilt thou purify thyself?
وأهديك
And I guide you.
And I guide you.
And I will guide you.
إلى
2.
ربك
Thy Lord. Your Lord.
فتخشى
So you would fear. So thou shouldst fear him. So you should fear him. 19. And that I guide thee to thy Lord, so thou shouldst fear him. 19. And I will guide you to your Lord, so that you would fear him. 19. And that I guide you to your Lord, so you should fear him. 19. If so, then I shall guide thee towards a cognition of thy sustainer, so that henceforth thou wilt stand in awe of him. 19. And let me guide you to your Lord, so you would fear him. 19. Do you want me to guide you to your Lord, so that you should fear him? 19. And I will guide thee to thy Lord, so that thou fear him.
فأراه
Then did Moses show him. Then he showed him
الآية
the sign,
الكبرى
great, the great sign. 20. Then did Moses show him the great sign. 20. Then he showed him the great sign. 20. Then Moses showed him the great sign, miracles. 20. And thereupon he went to Pharaoh, and made him aware of the great wonder of God's grace. 20. And he showed him the greatest sign. 20. Moses showed him the great sign. 20. So he showed him the mighty sign.
فكذب
But he denied. But Pharaoh rejected it,
وعصى
and disobeyed guidance.
فكذب وعصى
21. But Pharaoh rejected it, and disobeyed guidance. 21. But he denied and disobeyed. 21. But Pharaoh belied and disobeyed. 21. But Pharaoh gave him the lie, and rebelliously rejected all guidance.
ثم
Further. Then
أدبر
he turned his back,
He turned his back,
يسعى
striving hard against
الله
striving against,
الله ثم أدبر يسعى
22. Further.
he turned
His back, striving hard against
الله
22. Then he'd earned his back, striving. 22. Then he'd earned his back, striving hard against
الله
22. And brusquely turned his back on Moses. 22. Then he'd earned his back, striving, that is, plotting. 22. Then he quickly turned his back. 22. Then he went back hastily.
فحشر
And he gathered. Then he gathered his people. Then he collected his men,
فنادى
and made a proclamation, and cried aloud, and called out.
فحشر فنادى
23. Then he collected his men and made a proclamation. 23. And he gathered his people, and called out. 23. Then he gathered his people and cried aloud. 23. And then he gathered his great ones, and called unto his people. 23. And he gathered his people and called out. 23. And he summoned all his people. 23. So he gathered and called out,
فقال
saying, and said,
أنا
I,
ربكم
your Lord,
الأعلى
the Most High, Most High, Most Exalted, Supreme. 24. Saying, I am your Lord, Most High,
فأخذه
so seized him, so
الله
seized him,
الله الله نكالا
punishment, with punishment, an exemplary punishment, with an exemplary punishment,
فأخذه الله نكالا
but did punish him, and made
الله
example of him,
الآخرة
the last, for the last, the hereafter, in the hereafter,
والأولى
and the first. 25. But Allah did punish him, and made an example of him, in the hereafter, as in this life. 25. So Allah seized him with an exemplary punishment for the last and the first. 25. So Allah seized him with punishment for his last, that is, his saying, I am your Lord, Most High. See the verse 79-24, in the book of Dr. Hilali and Dr. Mohsin Khan, and first, that is his saying, O chiefs, I know not that you have a God other than I. See verse 28-38, transgression. 25. And thereupon God took him to task, and made him a warning example, in the life to come as well as in this world. 25. So Allah seized him an exemplary punishment for the last and the first transgression. 25. But God seized him, and meted out to him the chastisement of both the next world and the present. 25. So Allah seized him with the punishment of the hereafter, and of this life.
إن
Verily, indeed,
في
in
ذلك
this, that,
لعبرة
an instructive warning, is an admonition. Surely a lesson. Surely is a lesson.
لمن
For whosoever, for whomsoever, for whomsoever,
يخشى
fears, feareth Allah, fears,
الله
fears.
الله
26. Verily in this is an instructive warning for whosoever feareth.
الله
26. Indeed, in that is a lesson for whoever fears.
الله
26. Verily, in this is an instructive admonition for whosoever fears.
الله
26. In this, behold, there is a lesson indeed for all who stand in awe of God. 26. Indeed, and that is a lesson, that is, warning for whoever would fear.
الله
26. Surely there is in this a lesson for the God-fearing. 26. Surely there is in this a lesson for him who fears.
أأنتم
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
أشد
A more difficult. More difficult.
خلقا
To create.
أم
Or
السماء
the heaven.
بناها
That he constructed. He constructed it.
بناها
27. What?
What?
Are ye the more difficult to create or the heaven above
Above?
الله
hath constructed it? 27. Are you a more difficult creation, or is the heaven? He constructed it. 27. 27. Are you more difficult to create, or is the heaven that he constructed? 27. 27. O men, are you more difficult to create, and the heaven which he has built? 27. 27. Are you a more difficult creation, or is the heaven he that is
الله
constructed it? 27. O men, are you more difficult to create, and the heaven which he has built? 27. Are you the stronger in creation, or the heaven he made it?
رفع
He raised
سمكها
its height.
رفع سمكها
He raised its height. He raised its ceiling. On high hath he raised its canopy,
فسواها
and proportioned it. And he hath given it order and perfection. And he equally ordered it perfectly. On high hath he raised its canopy, and he hath given it order and perfection. 28. He raised its ceiling and proportioned it. 28. He raised its height, and he has equally ordered it. 28. High has he reared its vault and formed it in accordance with what it was meant to be. 28. He raised its ceiling and proportioned it. 28. By raising its vault high and fashioning it flawlessly. 28. He raised high its height up and made it perfect.
وأغطش
And he darkened. And he covers with darkness
ليلها
its night.
وأغطش ليلها
Its night doth he endow with darkness,
وأخرج
and brings out
ضحاها
its forenoon, its brightness,
وأخرج ضحاها
and its splendor.
And its splendor
But he bring out with light.
doth he bring out with light.
29. Its night doth he endow with darkness,
And its splendor
but he bring out with light. 29. And he darkened its night and brought out its brightness. 29. Its night he covers with darkness, and its forenoon he brings out with light. 29. And he has made dark its night and brought forth its light of day. 29. And he darkened its night and extracted its brightness. 29. And making its night dark, and bringing forth its morning light. 29. And he made dark its night and brought out its light.
والأرض
And the earth,
بعد
moreover, after
ذلك
that,
دحاها
hath he extended to a wide expanse. He spread it. And the earth, moreover, hath he extended to a wide expanse. He spread it. 30. And after that he spread the earth. 30. And after that, the earth wide has he spread its expanse. 30. And after that he spread the earth. 30. And the earth which he spread out. 30. And the earth he casted after that.
أخرج
He draweth out. And he brought forth
منها
therefrom, from it,
ماءها
its moisture, its water,
ومرعاها
and its pasture. (31) He draweth out therefrom its moisture, and its pasture. (31) He brought forth from it its water, and its pasture. (31) And brought forth therefrom its water, and its pasture. (31) And has caused its waters to come out of it, and its pastures. (31) He extracted from it its water, and its pasture. (31) After that bringing forth from it its water, and its pasture land. (31) He brought forth from it its water, and its pasture.
والجبال
And the mountains
أرساها
hath he firmly fixed. He made them firm. He has fixed them firmly.
والجبال أرساها
32 And the mountains hath he firmly fixed. 32 And the mountains he has fixed firmly. 32 And has made the mountains firm. 32 And the mountains he set firmly. 32 And making the mountains firm. 32 And the mountains he made them firm.
متاعا
A provision. As a provision. For use and convenience. To be a provision and benefit. For
لكم
you.
لكم
For you. And for
ولأنعامكم
cattle. Your.
ولأنعامكم
And for your cattle. (33) For use and convenience to you and your cattle. (33) As a provision for you, and for your cattle. (33) To be a provision and benefit for you and your cattle. (33) All this, as a means of livelihood for you and your animals. (33) As enjoyment, that is, provision for you and your grazing livestock. (33) All this, as a means of sustenance for you and your animals. (33) A provision for you, and for your cattle.
فإذا
But when
جاءت
comes
الطامة
the overwhelming calamity, the overwhelming event, the catastrophe,
الكبرى
the greatest. (34) Therefore, when there comes the great overwhelming event. (34) But when the great overwhelming calamity comes. (34) But when there comes the greatest catastrophe, that is, the day of recompense, etc. (34) And so, when the great overwhelming event of resurrection comes to pass. (34) But when there comes the greatest overwhelming calamity. (34) When the great overwhelming event arrives. (34) So when the great calamity comes.
يوم
day, the day, when,
يتذكر
shall remember, will remember,
الإنسان
man,
ما
what,
سعى
he strove for. 35. The day when man shall remember all that he strove for. 35. The day when man will remember what he strove for. 35. The day when man shall remember what he strove for. 35. On that day man will clearly remember all that he has ever wrought. 35. The day when man will remember that for which he strove. 35. On the day that man remembers what he strove for. 35. The day when man remembers all that he strove for.
وبرزت
And will be made manifest, and shall be made apparent in full view.
الجحيم
Hellfire,
لمن
for one who, to him who,
يرى
sees. "36. And hellfire shall be placed in full view for all to see. 36. And the hellfire will be made manifest to him who sees. 36. And hellfire shall be made apparent in full view for every one who sees. 36. And the blazing fire of hell will be laid open before all who are destined to see it. 36. And hellfire will be exposed for all those who see. 36. Period. And hell is there for all to see. 36. And hell is made manifest to him who sees.
فأما
Then as for
من
him who
طغى
transgressed, has transgressed all bounds.
فأما من طغى
37. Then, for such as had transgressed all bounds. 37. Then as for him who transgressed. 37. Then, for him who, transgressed all bounds, in disbelief, oppression, and evil deeds of disobedience, hella. 37. For, unto him who shall have transgressed the bounds of what is right. 37. So as for he who transgressed. 37. Anyone who has acted arrogantly. 37. Then as for him who is inordinate,
وآثر
and preferred, and had preferred,
الحياة
the life,
الدنيا
the world, of this world, worldly. 38. And had preferred the life of this world. 38. And preferred the life of the world. 38. And preferred the life of this world by following his evil desires and lusts. 38. And preferred the life of this world to the good of his soul. 38. And preferred the life of the world. 38. And prefers the life of this world.
فإن
Then verily, then indeed,
الجحيم
hellfire, the hellfire,
هي
it
المأوى
will be his abode. The refuge is the refuge. 39. The abode will be hellfire. 39. Then indeed the hellfire is his refuge. 39. Verily, his abode will be hellfire. 39. That blazing fire will truly be the goal. 39. Will find himself in hell. 39. Hell is surely the abode.
وَأَمَّا
But as for
مَنْ
him who
خَافَ
feared, who feared,
Who feared
مَقَامَ
standing before
رَبِّهِ
his Lord, before his Lord. And for such as had entertained the fear of standing before their Lord's tribunal,
and for such as had entertained the fear of standing before his Lord's
tribunal,
وَنَهَى
and restrained
النَّفْسَ
himself, his soul,
عَنِ
from
الْهَوَى
lower desires, evil desires, lust, the vain desire. And for such as had entertained the fear of standing before their Lord's tribunal, and had restrained their soul from lower desires. 40. But as for him who feared standing before his Lord, and restrained his soul from the vain desires. 40. But as for him who feared standing before his Lord, and restrained himself from impure evil desires and lusts. 40. But unto him who shall have stood in fear of his sustainers' presence, and held back his inner self from base desires. 40. But as for he who feared the position of his Lord, and prevented the soul from unlawful inclination. 40. But one who fears to stand before his Lord, and restrained himself from base desires. 40. And as for him who fears to stand before his Lord, and restrains himself from low desires.
فَإِنَّ
Then verily, then indeed,
الْجَنَّةَ
paradise is paradise.
هِيَ
It,
الْمَأْوَى
the refuge, will be his abode. 41. Their abode will be the garden. 41. Then indeed paradise is his refuge. 41. Verily, paradise will be his abode. 41. Paradise will truly be the goal. 41. Then indeed paradise will be his refuge. 41. Shall dwell in paradise. 41. The garden is surely the abode.
يَسْأَلُونَكَ
They ask you
عَنِ
about
السَّاعَةِ
The hour.
أيان
When
مرساها
will be its appointed time. Its arrival is its arrival. 42. They ask thee about the hour. DASH''WHEN will be its appointed time. 42. They ask you about the hour. When is its arrival? 42. They ask you, O Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, about the hour. When will be its appointed time? 42. They will ask thee, O Prophet, about the last hour. When will it come to pass? 42. They ask you, O Muhammad, about the hour. When is its arrival? 42. They ask you, O Muhammad, about the hour. When is its arrival? 42. They will ask you, Prophet, about the hour, saying, when it will come to pass. 42. They ask thee about the hour. When will that take place?
فيما
In what? About which not?
أنت
Pew. Or pew. Pew. Have.
من
Any?
ذكراها
Mention it. To mention it. It's knowledge. (43) Wherein art
thou
concerned with the declaration thereof? You have no knowledge to say anything about it.
You have no knowledge to say anything about it.
43. In what position are you to mention it? 43. You have no knowledge to say anything about it. 43. But how couldst thou tell anything about it? 43. In what position are you that you should mention it? 43. What have you to do with the mentioning of it? 43. About which thou remindest? 43.
About which thou remindest.
إلى
2.
ربك
Thy Lord. Your Lord.
منتهاها
Belongs, term thereof. Its finality. Is its finality. 44. With thy Lord in the limit fixed therefore. 44. To your Lord is its finality. 44. To your Lord belongs the knowledge of the term thereof. 44. Seeing that with thy sustainer alone rests the beginning and the end of all knowledge thereof. 44. Your Lord alone knows when it will come. 44. To thy Lord is the goal of it.
إنما
Only
أنت
Thou
pew.
منذر
A warner. Or a warner.
thou art but a warner.
Thou art but a warner. You are only a warner.
من
Those who. For those who. For those who.
يخشاها
Fear it.
Fear it.
For him who fears it.
من يخشاها
For those who fear it.
For those who fear it.
For him who fears it. (45) Thou art but a warner for such as fear it. 45. You are only a warner for him who fears it. 45. You, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, are only a warner for those who fear it. 45. Thou art but sent to warn those who stand in awe of it. 45. You are only a warner for those who fear it. 45. You are but a warner for those who fear it. 45. Thou art only a warner to him who fears it.
كأنهم
As if they, as though they,
يوم
day, the day,
يرونها
they see it,
لم
not,
يلبثوا
they had tarried, they had remained,
إلا
but, except,
عشية
a single evening, an afternoon, an evening,
أو
or,
ضحاها
at most till, the following morning, its morning, a morning thereof. The day they see it, it will be, as if they had tarried but a single evening, or, at most till, the following morning. 46. The day they see it, it will be, as though they had not remained, in the world, except an evening, or a morning thereof. 46. The day they see it, it will be, as if they had not tarried, in this world, except an afternoon, or a morning. 46. On the day when they behold it, it will seem to them, as if they had tarried in this world no longer than one evening, or one night, ending with its morn. 46. It will be, on the day they see it, as though they had not remained in the world except for an afternoon, or a morning thereof. 46. On the day when they see it, they will feel, as if they had tarried in this world for only one evening, or one morning. 46. On the day when they see it, it will be, as if they had but tarried for an evening, or a morning.